What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my prize picks breakdown for UFC London. We got Tom Aspinall going against Marcin Tybura.
I need all the wins, yeah. All that and all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back with another prize picks breakdown. This week we are breaking down UFC London for some prize picks here. We have a 15 fight card, which means there's going to be a lot of options to choose from. Very good card overall. We got an early start time as well, which is going to be nice. So yeah, looking forward to it. I have 10 plays that I'm going to be giving out this card. Last week went 8 for 9, which is pretty incredible. So hopefully we can replicate that success here. And yeah, hopefully make it another good day. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to the channel. If you guys are new to Prize Picks, check it out and use promo code DFSBTN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. It helps me out. It helps you out. Free money. Can't ask for anything better than that. So check that out. Use that promo code DFSBTN. All right. 10 things that do stick out here. We're going to start, as always, with the significant strikes, and we are going to start with one, Fares Ziam, and we're going to take the more on the significant strike. So this seems super low. I mean, I'm not sure what's going on here. I know Fares Ziam is not the highest volume striker in the world by any means. You know, actually very low volume on the feet, but I think this fight probably does go 15 minutes. I think this fight primarily does play out on the feet, and if it does, I think this more hits pretty easily there. 36 and a half. It just seems so low. Like, I don't see him knocking out Jai. I know Jai Herbert's super chinny, but Fares Ziam just has no power whatsoever. So I don't think he's gonna go out there and put up like 100 significant strikes, nothing like that. But I think he can go out there and get 50, 60. In a fight that does go the full 15. So just seems super low. I think they might be like really expecting a finish in this one. But yeah, way too low there for me. Give me the more on the significant strikes. Moving on, we are going to take the Nathaniel Wood, the more on the significant strikes there. 76 and a half there. Unlike Fares Ziam, Nathaniel Wood is extremely high volume. This guy's landing like over 6 significant strikes per minute. This guy throws a ton out there. And then on top of that, I feel like this fight, again, it does go 15 minutes. I feel like he's going to easily, like if this fight goes 15 minutes, which it is expected to, I feel like it easily goes and hits that more there on the 76 and a half. So give me Nathaniel Wood, 76 and a half. I really like that Ziam one as well, and this Wood one. And then another one I'll give out. This one I don't like as much because I do think there could be some finish upside here, but that is going to be Mahmoud Muradov, and I'm going to take the more here on the significant strikes, 44 and a half. So another guy that does have decent volume. I think this is going to be a decently high-paced fight because it's a Bryan Barberena fight. My concern is if Muradov does starch Bryan Barberena early, which Bryan Barberena doesn't really get starched early by anyone. When Bryan Barberena is getting finished early, it's due to getting submitted, and that's just not Muradov's game. So I think Barberena, even at this point of his career, is tough enough to last at least a round and a half. And if he does, I think this more does hit. And honestly, it probably does go the distance. Like I am personally picking a Muradov knockout, but it probably ends up going the full 15 because Barberena is super, super tough. So give me the Muradov. Give me the more on significant strikes. 44 and a half. It just seems too low. But I like the Ziam one and the Wood one a lot more than this one because there is a knockout chance, I think. All right, we'll go to the fight time, and there's a lot sticking out in the fight time this week. The first one I'll give out is going to be the Andre Muniz fight time. I'm going to take the less here, 7.5 minutes for this fight here. So I just think there's finish opportunities on both sides. Weirdly enough, I think both guys are live for a knockout. Both guys are super chainy, get knocked out all the time. So although both guys aren't knockout artists, I could see the other guy knocking the other guy out, right? And then obviously if this fight hits the mat, there's going to be submission opportunities on both sides. So I think less than 7.5 minutes makes a lot of sense to me. It's a Paul Craig fight. Paul Craig fights typically finish early. Give me the less here on this one. Moving on, give me the Jafel Filio taking another less here. Flyweight fight, 12.5 minutes. These guys are so dangerous. Both Jafel Filio and Daniel Barres. Barres is like an 82% finish rate. Filio like a 93%. Filio's actually hasn't been the distance since like 2014. I think both guys are, just like the last fight, going to be dangerous wherever the fight goes. Filio has power on the feet, but it's a submission game that is very, very dangerous. And then Barres, he has a good grappler in his own right, but it's more so the power of Barres that I think could win him the fight there. So another fight that I do think hits that less on that fight time, 12.5 minutes, seems like too much to me. I think this fight finishes. Moving on, we got Danny Roberts taking the less 10 minutes fight time. This is more so a fade on the durability of Danny Roberts, who's just not durable at all. 7 losses, 6 come inside the distance, and the one that did not come inside the distance, he got hurt multiple times in that matchup. He's taken on Johnny Parsons, who I don't think is that great, but Johnny Parsons, he comes to fight, and he hits hard, and hitting hard is about all you pretty much need at this point to knock out Danny Roberts. So give me the less. I think he probably even gets knocked out in the first round. Moving on, this is one I actually do like quite a bit. It's the Joe Alvarez, the less on the fight times. 9.75. That means the fight pretty much has just not starting the third round. Joe Alvarez has been to the third round only, I think, like maybe once or twice in his career. Like, this guy's fights are finishing very, very early. He has a ton of power. He's very dangerous early. He gets after it early. He has a ton of power on the feet. A great submission game. I think he finishes Mark Diakese in the very first round. I like the fact that they're giving us another 4.75 minutes there, but I think it probably does come in that first round if it does come. So give me the Alvarez less on the fight time. And then one more I'll give, and it's going to be a more on the fight time. And it's going to be Farazayam, 14.75 minutes, pretty much going the distance here. I'm going to take the more on this one. I think Zion wins this fight. I just don't think he has a ton of finishing ability. I think if there is a finish in this fight, it probably comes from Jai Herbert. But we saw in Jai Herbert's last couple fights, he kind of changed his style up a little bit. He's being a lot more tentative. He's being a lot more careful in there because he doesn't want to get knocked out. Farazayam, he's a point fighter. He does his best to kind of stay out of a lot of trouble. He tries to stick at range. I don't think he's going to go out there and get a finish here. So give me the more on the fight time, 14.75 there. Other than that, not much else sticking. I mean, I think Tom Aspinall could finish this guy in 5 minutes, but that is low. Molly McCann, I think this fight time can hit under 11, but I don't know. There's like a lot of like lesses sticking out on this fight time. Don't mind the Chris Duncan one. I'd stay away from, and I'm staying away from all the takedowns. Nothing sticking out here on the takedowns. Muradov, if he wants to, he can get 2. Jamal Poe's getting 4 takedowns. Like, that's a lot, but it could happen. Ketlin Vieira, she could get 2 takedowns. Farazayam, same thing. Like, I think all these are on the table, but all these could very well just not hit at all. Like, Muniz could absolutely get 2 takedowns, or somebody could get finished in the first minute of the fight. So nothing's actually sticking out on the takedowns for me this week, which is fine. We can move on to the fantasy score, and I'm going to take the Andre Muniz. I'm going to take the more on the fantasy score. 101.5. I know Paul Craig's always a live dog, but Paul Craig is coming down a weight class to middleweight, and quite frankly, I think it's a terrible matchup for Paul Craig. I think Muniz can knock out Paul Craig on the feet, and I think Muniz can also take down Paul Craig and submit him. Paul Craig is path to victory, and the majority of his fights is a triangle off his back. And good luck doing that to somebody that is a third-degree black belt in BJJ like Andre Muniz. I just don't think it's all that likely to happen. I think Muniz finishes him in probably in the first round, and I think this more on the 105 fantasy score, 101.5 fantasy score hits. And then the last one I'll give is going to be the Danny Roberts, the less on the fantasy score. Like I said, just a fade on the durability of Danny Roberts. I'm not sure he wins this fight, and quite frankly, I think he probably gets knocked out in the first round of this fight. I just don't think the durability is where it needs to be, especially at this point of his career. He's now 36 years old. I think Parsons goes out there and beats him. And if not, if Roberts was to win this fight, I kind of see it being like a boring fight where Roberts is trying his best to like stick on the outside, not get knocked out. But I do think Parsons probably catches him here. So those are the plays. I gave out 3, 6, 8, 10 plays for this card. Last week, I think I only gave out like 9. So found 10 this week that I do like. If you want to check it out, use that promo code DFSBTN for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Highly recommend PrizePicks. Check that out. Check out my DraftKings video that's out as well. And then I'll be going live Friday and Saturday as well. So make sure you like the video. I do appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. Tons of content coming out for UFC London. And then we have a massive card in UFC 291 next week. Best of luck, everybody, for UFC London. And we'll talk to you soon. See ya.